Hi there, my friends. This is May Andrade from the channel Temporarily Human. It's hard to say this word in English, but we are all eternal beings having a human experience for a temporary period of time. If you're here, welcome. And if you like talking about your inner power, your alignment with your higher self, this is the place for you, because that subject is the subject that really, wow, makes my heart burn with love and excitement. Okay, so this is the second video in this channel in English. I'm already a YouTuber in Brazil, my home country, and I already have lots of videos in Portuguese language. We have some videos in subtitles in English, but the subtitles are not accurate because it's like the computer makes it. Okay, so this is the second video, and the first video I posted in this English channel was like 3 years ago, when I was having my quantum leap, when I had my first quantum leap, and my life entirely changed. And I always had this feeling in my heart, this desire to share my story in English as well. First, because that's how I feel inclined to, and second, because I like English language, and most of my masters that I studied about your inner power, spirituality, quantum physics, I listen them in English. They are English speakers. So I am really familiar with the language by being a student of spirituality in English. Okay, so I translated lots of things in English. So I started to share in Portuguese. In my first video, which is really old, like 3 years ago, I explained how my inner being changed my life. And my story is really, really exciting. And I close my eyes, because when I remember all the adventures I've been through, it makes me laugh. It makes me really excited. You guys, I really want to share in English everything that I've been living and that I have lived with my inner being. Okay, I started as an evangelical Christian since childhood, and I lived in hell, like God was someone I say now that I had a very narcissistic God. Pray for me, worship me, cry, and maybe I will listen to you. And I have my favorite club, like those people I like, those people are going to heaven with me, because they've been doing what I told them to do. They've been following all the instructions, and you are unfaithful. You are not going to heaven. You're going to hell. And that was the God I praised for many, many years. But inside my heart, since I was little, I even remember how old I was. By that time, I was 5 years old when I did my first prayer to Jesus. And I was like, Jesus, God, whoever is there, I really want to find you. I really want to follow your ways. And I remember I was 5 years old. And since then, I started really dive deep in connecting with God. And I remember when I was like 9 years old, that I used to see things like kind of spirits, the other side I used to see. And I had nightmares sometimes, and sometimes I didn't even knew I was out of my body. And I had lots of spontaneous out-of-body experiences, and so very, very I was very connected with spirituality, but I didn't know. And by that time, my parents got concerned about me, and in the church, some people said, that's not what God wants for her. Those are demons trying to deceive her and everything. And then I got very scared with my spiritual gifts, and I kept my spiritual gifts hidden because I thought that was sinful. So my life started to really change in all means when in 2015, when me and my husband, we had a coffee shop in Brazil, and that was a dream come true for me, because I always had that thing in my head, I want to be rich, I really want to have a lot of money, I really want to live well and comfortable financially. And if I keep working for someone else, I will never get rich. I gotta be an entrepreneur and do something to get rich. And so I thought, let's open a bakery, a coffee shop. And then I started a YouTube channel teaching some recipes in Portuguese that is in Brazil. And the channel started to grow, and I just quit the channel. After that, I decided I want to do something on the internet, because if I work online, I can make money online. Many people are getting rich online, and then I started to open my mind for online business. And by that time, we found out actually we met a very different pastor who was more open-minded. And by that time, my mind was very closed. I was like, if it's not the Bible, I don't want to even hear about it. Only the Bible is the truth, and no other book can bring me, anything about the truth. But because that guy was a pastor, and I trusted his advice, and he told me to read some educational books for financial, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and also some other books. And I found Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And then after that, I found The Science of Getting Rich from Wallace D. Wattles. And then I started to open my mind to quantum physics, and especially Wallace D. Wattles. He talks a lot about this substance, this ether that creates everything, and how you can send a thought, and you can print the thoughts in this substance, and this substance starts to mold things for you. And I was like scared because of my Christian background. I was like, that sounds weird. But I was also very curious about it, and I kept reading more stuff. And then I found Dr. Joseph Murphy, The Power of Subconscious Mind, and I was getting to understand more and open more and more my mind to this new thought, philosophy. And I started to have my own results. And then I found out finally, very late, because I was very resistant to this book and documentary, which is The Secret. And by the time I was in the church, I heard some people talking bad about that book and documentary, The Secret, saying this thing, law of attraction, that's not what God wants and everything. This book is not a good book for Christians to read. And then I was scared about this book. But years later, because I was already opening my mind with those other books, because we had a coffee shop. I wanted to be rich, so that was my desire for getting rich, for wealth, made me open my mind and be more brave to explore other subjects. But unfortunately, or fortunately, because many good things happened after that, our coffee shop had to close the doors, and there was a huge crisis in the country and political crisis by that time, and many people was closing their business because they were afraid with the future and everything. And we closed our business. Also, my husband got a really good job in another place with the government, and he didn't have time anymore to help me, and also our business was not growing. And I got really depressed by that time. I was crying, had no reason for waking up in the morning. I got really depressed, and I found out about Anthony Robbins' book, Unleash the Power Within. And I started to understand there was a power within us. And one book after another, I started to raise again. And I just kept devouring one book after other and doing my own tests with the law of attraction. And I remember my first test with the law of attraction was co-creating a skirt, a pink skirt. And I was just visualizing this pink skirt. It must be, I thought, it must be just the way I'm visualizing. Otherwise, it's just coincidence. So I was visualizing exactly the shape and the color of the skirt I wanted. And for almost 2 weeks, I did that. And one day, when I was not paying attention at all by this, I even forgot about the skirt. I found this skirt in a doll mannequin in the display in a store, and I was like, it really works. Okay, that was my beginning with the law of attraction after reading a lot and starting to open my mind. So then me and my husband, we moved from Brazil to America. We really wanted to learn more English and have more experience. Life just brought us to America. So we had to start life all over again from zero. And by that time, life became really hard again. Living as an immigrant, we still made money in Brazil, but our Brazilian currency is like 5 times lower than dollars. So what we made money in Brazil and bringing to dollars made us really poor in America. So by that time, I was starting to get depressed again, and I found this guy. This guy on the internet. He's a Brazilian professor of quantum physics, a really enlightened one. It's really hard to find anything more updated about him. He has a website. His team is working, sharing his thoughts and teachings. His name is Hélio Couto, and I'm really grateful about him. He's an amazing guy. I really wish his work would spread all over the world. But in Brazil, he was we call the father of quantum coaches, people who started their spiritual awakening and became really famous teaching the law of attraction in Brazil because they were students of this professor, Hélio Couto. And he developed a thing that he calls harmonic resonance. We don't know how he does, but he is a really different guy, yeah. And he explains everything, how quantum physics works and how he sends to you waves of information. So it goes to your brain, no matter where in the world you are. Then you have to follow the steps he says, and you make a list of things that you want to download from the cloud, from universal consciousness to your consciousness. And he is the channel between universal consciousness, him, and you. So you gotta follow the steps, watch the videos he tells you to watch. Most of his videos are for free. He's a really spiritual guy. He asks you to watch the free videos that he has there. Lots of videos, like 150 videos, something like that, about him teaching how the mind works, how quantum physics works. And this guy was really famous in Brazil by that time. He still is, but by that time he was like boom. And I saw that many people who studied with him and did the harmonic resonance became really rich and, successful, and started to teach law of attraction, quantum physics, this kind of thing, spiritual awakening. And I started to study with him. And I started to study. I had lots of my inner shadows coming out, and I had many philosophical crises, and I had my challenges during that time. And I finally got accepted by him, because he has to accept you. I wrote an email, and I told him who I was, and that I had watched his the required videos. And he mailed me back saying, yes, you can start the harmonic resonance. And then I made my list. The things I wanted to download from the cloud, from universal consciousness to my consciousness. And in the first week that I started to, he sends you an audio, okay? It's not an audio. You gotta have, I think you gotta have a platform, an app, so you can listen to the audio, and you cannot download the audio. But the audio is just sound like waves from the ocean, only waves. There is nothing there for you to actually listen. And he says, you don't need to put it in your ears, you don't need to listen to the sound, you just need to press play, and you just go normally to your day. And you gotta let the audio play at least once a day. And because I wanted really to have strong results with that, I separated a time, specific time. I was laying down on the couch, and I put in my ears, and I was just listening to the waves and imagine that the download was being done. And in one week I started to feel different. It was I had this inner power that I didn't know, and all the masters that I was listening to and I could not understand, now it was clear water, and I was understanding. I felt a change inside of me. And why I'm telling this story about this guy, because it was my first video in my YouTube channel in Brazil that started everything. It was because I was sharing my experience with this tool that he has, this harmonic resonance. By the time, many people in Brazil was using and sharing their experience on the internet. And one day I was having a well-being time, because also I really love Abrahamhicks, and I really love when Abraham says that we got to be aligned most of the time, as much as we can, with our inner being, with our higher self. And that's the same message that this professor in Brazil teaches. But he calls it divinespark. So, centelha divina. That's why in Portuguese, if you understand Spanish or Portuguese, which is similar, in all my videos I start, Oi centelhas, I'm like, hi centelhas, hi sparks, because I'm talking to the inner divinity in you, with your inner being, with your higher self. And this professor said, my tool is not to make you rich and famous. My tool is to make you get in alignment, not only alignment, but fusion. When two become one, yes, when two become one, and you and your divine spark become one. That's why I work. That's the main reason I have this tool. And because once you get one with your inner being, when you become one with your higher self, then anything is possible. Then any desire, any dream, everything is possible. You got your power back. So his work is not focusing on, okay, come here and I will make you rich. Oh, come here and then I will teach you a technique so you can co-create your car, your new car. No, he's not focusing on that. And that was why I fell in love with his teachings and also Abrahamhicks. Because if you align with your higher self, then everything gets in place for you. Instead of being worried about the bills you gotta pay, the new car you wanna buy, the money you wanna make, instead of doing this technique so you can create, manifest more money. No, that's just the entrance door. Law of attraction is the entrance door. So I passed that, and I was really like watching Abrahamhicks, and one day I saw in one of the lectures this woman was kind of whining, complaining, you know, Abraham, I did everything you said, but nothing works out for me because I don't manifest, I still have financial problems and blah, 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 blah. And Abraham said to her, have you tried to stay focusing on your inner being relationship with, for 30 days and trying to keep as much as possible your vibration high and aligned with your higher self for 30 days in a row? Not like one day and 5 days you're not aligned anymore, and 3 days and 1 week you forget about it. No, every single day. That's your focus for every single day. 30 days in a row. So I'm not focusing on the things I want to manifest. I'm focusing on being one with my higher self. And trusting and knowing that once I get aligned with my higher self, all my desires are taken care of. Okay? And I was like, and Abraham said, that's enough time to change the entire life. And I was like, I like that. That's interesting. I'm gonna do that. Because I was just devouring books and just devouring, just eating stuff, knowledge, reading more books, watching more videos, doing more techniques for specific things I wanted to manifest. And I was like, okay, that's exactly the same thing that this teacher in Brazil is saying, this professor in Brazil is saying, and that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's do it. Let's try it. And one day I was doing one of the exercises that Abraham teaches, which is for you to care about your well-being. So I made a spa at home. I lighted up some candles and I had some incense and I took a really warm shower and I was just relaxing, listening to some meditation music, and I was like, nothing serious is going on here. I'm just relaxing. I'm just being one with my inner being, being one with my higher self, with my divine spark. And the download came, and by that time I was already studying and doing the harmonic resonance with this professor in Brazil. And so came the download. My inner being told me, get up, because I was laying down in a bathtub, and get up, and open your phone, record a video, making a diary, a journal in video, on camera, about your transformation, and put it on YouTube. That's what I heard. It was clear, and I did that. And my first video was with a really simple phone, and I put on YouTube, just like my inner being told me to do. And it is a really, really simple video. I'm crying, I'm like having, spiritual crisis, making many questions, and just pouring my heart out in the video, just being really myself, expressing what I was going through and how I was being changed by this new knowledge that I was acquiring and practicing. And in the first 24 hours, when I checked my channel, which was not a channel, I just followed an inspiration and let it go, okay? But when I saw many people had watched, I don't know how they found my video. I did not tell anyone, not even my husband knew about it. And some people started to comment and say, "Oh my God, I found you, I found someone, I feel so connected with you. Wow, what you say is exactly what I'm going through now." And lots of people started to connect with my story, and they said, "Post more, please, because we want to follow you. We want to see your evolution." And I remember I showed my husband, and I was really scared. I was like, who are those people? I don't even know them. Yeah, they want to follow me. They want to know more about me, my process. And I said, look at me. I don't even have makeup on. I'm all messed up. And then my husband said, "No way that you're deleting this video. There is something here for you. Just post more." And then I started posting more like a journal on camera, so I could really compare my before and after. And people started to come by the law of attraction, by the power of consciousness, by the power of law of attraction, really. Yeah. And people started to come. I didn't pay anyone any tool to, advertising my videos or anything. I was just sharing more and more, and people started to tell each other. And mouth to mouth, my channel started to grow so fast. And also my Instagram in Portuguese. And people really wanted to follow and asking about the books I was reading, how I was feeling and everything, and also how I was doing during my process with this tool that Professor Helio Couto still has. And how are you doing, because they were also using the same tool, and many people started to come, and the channel started to grow so fast. But my channel was not huge. By that time I had from the first video to the quantum leap that I had 300 subscribers in my YouTube channel. So the first quantum leap that I had, life gave me, was when I had 300 subscribers in my channel. So I was really focused in changing my life and making it happening. And I wanted to have my online business still. It was one of the things I asked in my list when I sent to this professor, that I wanted to download from the universal consciousness. It was a wisdom to have my own business on internet. And I remember I was just doing, many exercises to align with my higher self. I was not anymore focused in getting stuff. I was not focused in, the money, the car, the house, nothing that. I was only focused in aligning with my inner being, with my divine spark. And that was what my highest excitement was, because I really, really, really felt so led to do this, because I knew that if I become one with my higher self, everything is going to be solved. I don't need to worry about anything. I just need to align and be as much as possible aligned with my higher self. Okay, and then I, after listening to that Abraham speech about the 30 days challenge, I started my 30 days challenge, which was, I created some exercises, and all the exercises that I created by the time, they were focused in aligning with the higher self, not to getting stuff. Only 30 days I will keep my vibration as high as possible. I will avoid complaining, whining, and being negative anytime. I will practice more well-being. I will meditate, and I started to do my, I created a routine for me. I woke up very early, and then I meditated for 20 minutes with the intention to align or to connect with my higher self. And then I wrote in a gratitude journal. Some things that I wrote was things that I had and things that I wanted to have, but as if I already had. And I started to write that, which helped me see the positive side of life, and also read some pages of a book. So that was what I was doing. And during the day, I was just watching myself, trying to be more present most of the time as possible, to catch my ego trying to be negative and everything. And I was like that, and my husband helped me. I said, please, if you see me being negative or anything, please just wake me up. I'm in a challenge to be 30 days positive and not worry, but to be more focused on aligning with my inner being. Okay, I was doing this challenge, and life was, the feeling inside was getting amazing. So many things, good things happening. And then one day, when my channel had 300 subscribers, one day one of my videos went viral. So I had the first quantum leap was when I started from zero, from intuition, my channel, and people started to come. And the second quantum leap that I had was during this 30-day period of time when I was focusing on my relationship with my higher self. So I remember that my phone started to get crazy, notifications all over, YouTube, Instagram, more than 5,000 people a day, and I was like, what is that? It was like a tornado, many people coming, and I was like, what happened? So when I saw, it was one video of mine that went viral, and people all over the country was following the channel, and I went, you guys, I went from 300 subscribers in 1 month to, in 1 month and a half, from 300 subscribers to 57,000 subscribers. In only few months, I was getting the plate, not the award that YouTube gives when you have over 100K, 100 thousand subscribers, only very few months, and I was already making a lot of money in YouTube. YouTube was started to pay me for my visualizations, and that was the first money we did. But then it was not enough, of course, for being rich. And when my channel was around 50,000 subscribers or something, which was really fast. Imagine, you have a channel with 300 subscribers. You don't know how to work on internet, and from night to day, a lot of people come and you don't know what to do with that. But there was this guy that he got in touch with me, he's a Brazilian guy, and he said, I want to make a release with you. Let's launch an online course. Let's talk about something. And I was like, but I don't know about what and everything. And then I had an inspiration. And the same process that I did with myself, the exercises I created, all the methods that I created to use with myself, the 30-day methods, I transformed in an online course of 21 days. By the time I thought 30 days may be too long, but people might connect with 21 days, because by that time many people were doing 21-day challenges. And then I did a 21-day challenge to connect with your divine spark. That was the name. 21-day journey, actually was a journey, 21-day journey to connect with your divine spark, with your higher self. So people were already familiar with the subject, because that subject is the main subject that I talk about in my channel. So all the followers, all the viewers, they knew how important it is when you are focusing on aligning with your higher self. The things are taken care of. You don't need to be worrying about each thing in your life, and you spread your energy and you cannot solve anything. So okay. Take your energy and focusing on your higher self, and everything will be solved. That was what I was teaching, and I still teach that. And I remember that we went live on YouTube for the first time, and I opened the subscriptions. Okay, I opened the opportunity for people to join my online course, and another miracle happened. Lots of people, over 300 people signed out for my online course, and the big lump of money, the big sum of money came as I could never imagine. And in the day, in a specific date, I was having a cup of coffee, and my husband told me, "You know what day is today?" And I was like, "I don't know, is anything special?" He said, "Yes, today is the exactly date that your inner being told you that was when everything was being solved 4 months ago." And I was like, yeah, and that day was exactly the day when my husband was transferring the money from our account in Brazil to our account in America. And really a lot of money started to flow in our experience. And since that first time, we were never out of money, only more money coming. And I had the life that I was dreaming about, being rich, having people working for you, and my life started to launch. And yeah, I started to grow and making a lot of money on teaching from my heart. And also we decided then, by that time, we decided to go back to Brazil. That was a little bit before pandemic, and we went back to Brazil because people wanted to meet me. I wanted to give lectures all around the country. I wanted to release books and everything, and so we had to invest more time and energy in our country, in Brazil, in in our business, online business in Brazil. We even had an office with people working for us. We had a business partner which was Brazilian as well, and he knew how to work online, and he helped us a lot. Anything that we needed, our inner being was just bringing to us, while I was using my energy only to be aligned with my inner being, and everything was being taken care of. And I remember by the time that I said, I want to release a book, I want to write a book. I already had e-books, digital books that I had written, typed, and I said, I can transform those books in actual books, and I really want to be an author. And I started to visualize being an author, and I started to visualize even the publisher that I wanted to release the book with. And I said, I want this publisher, but I'm not going to them and offer my book. They will come to me. My divinespark will connect, will align us. And I started to visualize that and imagining this. And what happened? They got in touch with me and said, you know, you are now a big YouTuber in Brazil, and you have lots of followers, and we are working with online teachers, so to release books, because we work mostly online, and we really like your channel and what you teach, and we were wondering if you would like to release a book with us. And I was like, yeah. Can I imagine that I was already co-creating that? And well, this video is getting long, guys, but many things really happened. Okay, so my first book was released, and guess what? Now, guys, now I wanted to be a bestseller author. And I was visualizing that I was a giant walking around the buildings, and I was visualizing that. And one day in an event that I was with lots of online business entrepreneurs, I was there as a guest, me and my husband, and they made us a surprise, and they said, there is a best-selling author here among us, Ney Andrade. And they were like, oh, and I was getting my award. That was amazing. And my book was not only a bestseller, it was the #1 book in that week, for an entire week. It was #1 for an entire week. You know, the most well-sold book in the entire country. Brazil is huge, guys. Brazil is a huge country. It's one of the biggest countries in the world, and my book was #1 of the entire country. Can you imagine how happy I am? And I was like, oh, and in this book, which is my book, Divinespark, I'm just translating, but in Portuguese is Centelha Divina. Desperte o poder oculto da sua alma em 21 dias. Unleash the hidden power of your soul in 21 days. It was the process I did with me, based and inspired in the 30-day challenge of Abrahamhicks. So the book at the beginning talks about my story, my background and everything, how I got in touch with this subject of the Divinespark. And then the second part of my book is talking about what is the higher self or Divinespark and everything, who are we and everything, and how to connect, to align, why this is important and how that made a difference in my life. And the third part of my book are the 21 exercises, so you apply for 21 days. That was based in my online course. Okay, so I'm really happy sharing with this. And just to make the long story a little bit shorter, I released a second book, and which was also bestseller. It was among the 5 first books in the entire country, so it's a lot high position, and it was a bestseller book as well. So I'm an author of 2 books, and yeah, I bought my apartment in Brazil, which was a 2 million reais, country currency. That was like for an American buying a $2 million house or apartment. But there, with this money, you really buy a very luxurious apartment. And my apartment in Brazil is really luxurious and is really, really rich. And we entered the apartment. It had already everything, first quality. And we entered there, and we had people working for us. I had someone cooking for me. I had someone cleaning my house. I had someone organizing, going to the markets, going to the grocery store, buying things for me, so I didn't have to get out of my house and do this boring stuff. And I had someone making my bed, everything. I had lots of employees working for me. And I remember that one time I was like, that's too much. I don't want a lot of people doing everything for me. I want to go to the grocery store. I miss going to the grocery store. But I had my divinespark. My inner being gave me the experience I wanted. Being rich and have everyone doing everything for you, even your bed. You know, you don't have to worry about anything at all. I had 2 nannies for my toddler, 2 nannies. And, you know, you guys, I had the experience, all the experience that I was wishing for. Everything, because I really focused, instead of getting things, I focused on my alignment with my higher self. And that doesn't mean that I didn't allow myself to dream and to even visualize, as I visualized my 2 best-selling books. But it's different. I don't visualize with the intention, let's make this happen. You know, no. I was visualizing just to let my divine spark, just to let my inner being know what I want. Just to be clear, and just to show to myself what I want. And I just let go and trust that everything is going to come. And that's how I've been living my life. And many other things started to happen with me, and never one single day anymore I had to worry about money. I had to worry about not being able to do anything, because I know everything is possible, because I am with my higher self. I am powerful. I'm not an ego that believes that I'm separated, poor me. No. I know that my strength comes from my higher self. And that's why this is the focus of my channel, the focusing of all my videos. And that's what I want to start sharing with you guys in English now. That was a long video just because I really wanted to let you know a little bit about my story. And trust me, there is a lot more that I didn't share in this video because that would be too long. But what I want to do with this channel is to translate, but to record again in English, most of my videos from my YouTube in Brazil in Portuguese, okay? So just if you like my story and you feel curious or connected about, just hit the subscribe button and the bell so you know when I will post the next videos. And yeah, if you feel that this message is for you as well, and just let's hang on together, okay? Lots of kisses for you, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Sempre em você. nasci pra ser feliz. Eu 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 nasci pra ser feliz. Pra ser feliz. Força, coragem, sabedoria, prosperidade, motivos pra sorrir. Confie sempre em você, que tudo pode acontecer. Quem cria sua realidade é você. Eu nasci pra ser feliz. Eu nasci pra ser feliz. Eu nasci pra ser feliz. Força, coragem, sabedoria, prosperidade, motivos pra sorrir. Confie sempre em você, que tudo pode acontecer. Quem cria sua realidade é você. Eu nasci pra ser feliz. 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 nasci pra ser feliz.